On January 22nd, I made the decision to shut Bud's Beer Blurb down due to health reasons. Well, today I'm happy to announce that I'm back, but with a few changes. Hello everyone, I'm Bud Esty, and this is Bud's Beer Blurb. A few months ago, I shut all of this down. And not because I lost interest or anything like that, but because I had to take a serious look at my health. I got a diagnosis that basically forced me to stop and rethink everything. I had to make some serious changes in my life. I changed my diet, I started exercising a bit, basically quit drinking, and then something amazing happened. My health made a surprising turnaround. I lost, today, 40 pounds. A lot of inflammation in my body went away. My blood pressure came down from an average of 150 over 95 to 111 over 74. My doctor was shocked. I disciplined myself and made a real change. And that change is going to stay. The interesting thing is that I really didn't miss drinking per se. I missed the people, the conversations, the community around all of this. That, and I was seriously bored out of my mind, and that's what brought me back. But it's not coming back the same way. No, the blurb is changing a bit. I'm not going to be drinking like I used to, not even close. I've set limits to myself, and I refuse to go over those limits. My health is more important than anything else in my life. I have grandkids that I really want to watch grow up for as long as I possibly can. So I'll be focusing more on the podcast. Everything is controlled and intentional now. This is going to be more about the people, the stories, the craft beer world, and not just about what's in my glass. And yeah, you'll probably notice there's been a few changes. The beard's gone. I also have a new logo. I made the logo focus more on the podcast. I think the beer mug microphone, it just screams beer podcast. The studio looks a little different too. It's no longer that bar look and now has some sound panels up, which I still have a lot of work to do. I just wanted to simplify things and focus on what actually matters. So this isn't really like a restart. It's more of a reset. A better, more focused version of what this was always meant to be. So, if you've been following me all this time, thank you. I really appreciate you. And if you're new to the blurb, well then welcome. And I hope you'll stick around. And we'll all see where this is going to go. Coming up next, a little story I like to call Almost Luppoleto.
Bud from Bud's Beer Blurb, and I'm at Almost Famous Brewing in East Granby, Connecticut, where something very exciting is happening. They closed their doors back in December of 2025, but they're reopening again, only for a brief time, so that they can pass the baton to Luppoleto Brewing, who will be taking over this location. Today, they're actually brewing beer together. Is it a collaboration? I have the brewers right behind me. Let's talk to them and find out what's going on. All right, I'm with Jim Wilfinger of Almost Famous Brewing, and Jim, I want to know, how did the conversation start between you and Luppoleto?
Well, basically what happened was we have a mutual friend who owns another brewery who's no longer in the business, and he reached out to us towards the end of our stay here and said, hey, I have somebody who was interested in, going to the next level, getting a space that's larger so they can have a kitchen and so they can do outside distribution. Are you guys still interested in talking to people? So my business partner Chip reached out to them, and we had the first meeting. And the first meeting was an introduction, and we kind of walked around and talked to them about the system, a little bit about their vision, and then we got into the negotiation process. And then, once we kind of figured out whether or not this was going to be a good fit, we were able to sort of just move on to the next stage, which was getting them in here. And of course, they have a few things they had to work out with their old tap room, because their old tap room is still going to be in play for an undetermined amount of time until they're ready to maybe make something out of that, which is their decision.
Okay. Well, you guys are brewing together today. He's going from a microbrewery to this system. Is this sort of like a training day?
I mean, in the sense that I think you're looking at the equipment that's here and trying to figure out, okay, I do the same thing at my place. Okay, which valves do I have to move here in order to get things to, come out the same way? And I think for him, it's probably a little less work because we're kind of hard piped all the way through.
Yep.
A lot of valve turning. The efficiencies are a little bit better here, which he's already figured out, which he's happy about.
Excellent.
So he'll be able to buy less grain and be able to make beers for less money, and who doesn't like that?
Right, exactly. So, you guys are brewing today. What kind of beers are we going to be seeing?
Well, I guess you're going to have to stop in and find out.
I'm going to definitely do that. You know that anyway. Sales will be of the beers that you're making will be at both breweries for a while.
Both breweries for a while. Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, are you excited about all this?
I'm very psyched. I'm psyched for them because I know they're looking to get to the next level. I like, their energy and their mission statement is exactly what a brewery should have. And I think they're going to take this place to the next level.
Beautiful.
It's going to be great.
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome, bud. Thanks. Great seeing you again.
You too, brother. Let's talk to James. All right, I'm with James Wright of Luppoleto Brewing. And Luppoleto, the original one is
Winslow.
Okay. So you're taking over this spot. How'd the conversation from your end start with Almost Famous?
It's actually funny. We had a friend in town who had just gone through a similar thing with their brewery. Is actually the guy from Problem Solved.
Okay, yeah.
And we were talking to them when they were closing up their space. We were talking to them about possibly expanding into that space because we were just looking for more room. And that conversation got us thinking about the concept of, well, I mean, maybe if that wasn't the right space, maybe this could be, because this is a little closer for our customers.
Yeah.
A little easier to connect the dots from Windsor to East Granby. And we just kind of went from there, reached out, had a conversation, and one thing led to another. And actually came together pretty quick, believe it or not.
So, when did the opportunity become real to you?
Well, basically when we started talking about numbers I didn't know were realistic or not, we found a number that made sense to everybody, and I was kind of surprised by it, and they were happy to find somebody to continue the brewing legacy here.
Right.
I think that was important to Chip and Jim to have somebody here who's brewing again. They didn't want to just leave it and have it turn back into just an industrial thing anymore. I think that's part of their legacy is there being a brewery here still. So I think that encouraged them to maybe be a little bit more friendly with those numbers than they would have otherwise been. But we seem to get along well, so I think
they're great guys.
Yeah,
they're really great guys. What made this space seem like the right spot for Luppoleto, though? I mean, you talked about it's convenient for your clientele, but is there anything else about this that just said yes?
I think it was something where we felt like we had the, endurance to handle some part. So we knew we wanted to move. We knew we had the endurance to do some part of that move, but we didn't want to start from scratch again. And we had been looking at, our dream was to have some place that was rural.
Yep.
Like farmland, of course. That's is easier to get people there because it's just more fun than parking lot adjacent views. But we felt like maybe we didn't have quite what it took to start from scratch. So if we were able to start from these guys gave us like a nice firm foundation to start on. That maybe we could take that and kind of make it our own. I was inspired also by Dead Language Brewing Project. They took that space that Ben had done a great job with Hog River and kind of made it their own. And I feel like we have to start some sort of collaboration. All the hermit breweries that used to be something else that took over. But I feel like there's kind of a strong pattern of doing that. When somebody just runs out of steam on something, we felt like we still had a little bit of steam left to go. So.
And you and Chris did a collab together. I had that. It was very, very good.
You too.
Oh, I only had one of them.
Okay, which is Velveteen or
Velveteen.
Okay, the brown ale. Yeah,
that was really, really good.
Yeah, we did a Kentucky Common too early on, so which is a weird beer style that not a lot of people do. Yeah.
I wish I had that one. Huh.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again.
So you're going from a microbrewery to a much larger system, 15 BBL system. Is that intimidating at all?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I brewed on a 10-barrel system when I was back east. I've brewed with friends on bigger systems, but there's always a learning curve.
Sure.
You know, you start to just get used to what valves do what, and but in our brewery, I think, you know, I was intimidated by how long it was taking me on our small system in the early days, and then you get into a routine, and you know, and then it's pretty easy to just jump in and do it. So we'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely. So what kind of a vibe is this place going to have?
That's a great question. I think we, one of the things that we have about our space right now is it is small, and so by its very nature it's intimate because everybody is in everybody's space, sort of. There's a lot of, you know, communal space. The tables are long and communal. We don't really have a bar. So I think we're going to try to bring some of that here, but we also have kind of multiple rooms here, so you can kind of have different vibes. We can kind of try to recreate some of those vibes in parts of the place, and then the other vibes will kind of be a little bit different. I think it'll give people a choice that if they want more of a bar kind of rowdy tap room vibe, they can come in here, and maybe in one of the other rooms it'll be a little bit more laid back. So we hope to try to use those spaces, the space, chop it up into some spaces that let people choose kind of the experience they want.
Yeah, cool.
But we're also looking to add food.
Oh, good.
So we're working with somebody right now to put in a kitchen here, and hopefully that's going to take up a little bit of the space, but I think, you know, it will help to have a consistent food options here that we can also pair with beers and things like that.
Yeah, that's well-used space.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's not a sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's an addition. So the beers that you have in Windsor Locks, they're coming here.
Yep.
Will there be anything new?
Probably. We're going to do a few new things here that we didn't do there because just they didn't really make sense to do at the scale we were doing them. We're also going to try to do something that we weren't doing there, which is we had a constant rotation there. We didn't really have anything that stayed on all year round.
Gotcha.
But here, I think we're going to have some of those things. And we had people express to us like, oh, my favorite is this. I'd like to have that on now. If you try to satisfy everybody's favorites, we wouldn't be able to brew anything else. But I think we're going to have a couple of flagship kind of things that we never really had there. We used to say our flagship was variety. I think people are like, but I want Bounce House back, or Lupo Pills, and so those things will probably end up being anchors that we didn't used to do that. But in terms of like bringing new beer styles here, you know what? We'll see.
Absolutely, right?
I think what we want to try to do is get our bearings on. I think what we're going to try to do actually is do more weird stuff over at the other facility because we're still going to operate that for a while.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
So I think we're going to, interesting time-wise for sure. So we're going to have that little system we can experiment with, and so we can do some weird things that we were maybe not doing because we didn't think we would be able to sell through them quickly enough or whatever. You know, but here I think we'll be able to do big versions of things, but we'll have less variety. So we're going to kind of have to fill in the variety from the other facility.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Cool. So, well, I'm excited to see what you guys do with this place. I'm really happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I've had a lot of good times at this brewery. So many different events, so many different interviews, so many different beers I've tried. And even though I'm sad to see Almost Famous leaving and, you know, closing a chapter, I'm very excited for Luppoleto. This is going to be a great venue for them, and I'm just excited to see what they do with it. I can't wait to come here and try some amazing beers because I know this gentleman has a fantastic reputation. So, I'm Bud from Bud's Beer Blurb, Almost Famous Brewing, soon to be Luppoleto Brewing.
And now,
Bud's Beer Blurb presents Hops 101.
On this edition of Hops 101, we're casting our line to reel in a brand new hop on the market, the anchovy hop. But trust me, there's nothing fishy about this one. Anchovy is an experimental hop out of the Segal Ranch family hop farm in Washington State's infamous Yakima Valley. This one's still in development and has been labeled Experimental Variety 24B-05. Brewers are just now starting to unlock its true potential. Don't let the name fool you. There's nothing fishy about the aroma or flavor of this little hop. Instead, anchovy brings watermelon hard candy, bright raspberry, and a crisp, piney finish. It's sweet, it's fruity, then it snaps back with that classic resin edge. With an alpha acid range of 12.6%, this thing's got enough punch for bittering and enough oil to drive serious aromas. This hop's a brewer's playground, perfect for experimental IPAs, pilot batches, or anything where you want to push the flavor boundaries. So, there you have it. The hop with a weird name, but a seriously interesting profile. Now I gotta ask you this. Are you grabbing a pint of this, or are you just letting this one swim on by?
This has been Hops 101.
Well, that's about all we have for you today, but please come back and join us again for the next episode of Bud's Beer Blurb, the podcast.